This story is called Mirror. The love that binds two souls is a delicate thread, woven with moments of tenderness and shared dreams. But what if that thread were severed, and the person you held most dear was no longer the one you knew? I never believed in monsters until the day I looked into the eyes of the woman who was once my wife. It began like any other day. The sun casting its warm embrace over our quaint suburban home. Sadie and I had been married for 5 years, our happiness seemingly unbreakable. I kissed her goodbye that morning, her smile as familiar as the rising sun. But when I returned home that evening, the air was thick with an unsettling tension. The woman who had greeted me at the door wore the face of my wife, but her eyes were different, empty, devoid of that spark that always shone with life. I brushed it off as exhaustion, the weariness that accompanies a long day. But as the days turned into weeks, the unease deepened, and I realized that something was undeniably wrong. Conversations grew stilled, as if the words between us were being filtered through a foreign tongue. Sadie's laughter, once a melody that once warmed my heart, now sounded hollow, like an echo from a distant place. I questioned her, searched her eyes for the truth, but all I found was an impenetrable mask. One night, unable to sleep, I ventured downstairs to find her standing by the window, bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight. Her silhouette was hauntingly beautiful, yet I could sense a darkness lingering within her. "Is everything all right, Sadie?" I whispered, my voice trembling. She turned to me, her gaze unfocused, and a chill swept through me as she spoke. "I am no longer Sadie. I wear her skin. But I am something else now, a vessel for a higher purpose." My heart pounded in my chest as her words hung in the air like a specter. My mind raced, searching for an explanation that eluded me. She had always been my anchor, my rock, and now she was slipping through my fingers like sand. What are you talking about?" I managed to choke out. The smile she offered me was a grotesque parody of the one I once loved. "You are not meant to understand, only to accept. The transformation is irreversible, and my purpose is greater than any mortal bond." Dread coiled around me like a serpent as I stumbled backwards, my hands clammy against the wall. This couldn't be happening. It was a nightmare, a grotesque hallucination brought on by my fear and paranoia. But the alien's words that spilled from her lips, the knowledge she possessed, shattered any illusion of sanity. Days turned into a haze of torment as I struggled to grasp the reality of what had befallen us. I researched, frantically scouring the internet for any shred of information that could explain the inexplicable. My mind wandered through a dark corner of conspiracy theories and extraterrestrial lore, desperate for answers that remained just beyond my reach. One night, as the clock ticked away the hours, I stumbled upon a tale eerily similar to my own. A man, haunted by the hallowed gaze of his wife, documented the chilling transformation that had overtaken her. The conclusion was inescapable. An alien presence, a parasitic being that had taken her form to carry out its inscrutable purpose. Armed with newfound determination, I confronted her again. Armed with the fragments of truth I had uncovered. "I know what you are," I said, my voice trembling but resolute. You're not my wife. You're something else. Something that doesn't belong here. A predatory smile danced across her lips, her eyes gleaming with an otherworldly intelligence. You're right. I am not your wife, but you underestimate the honor bestowed upon her. To be chosen as a vessel is the highest privilege. Anger and grief collided within me, igniting a fire that pushed me forward. I won't let you destroy her. I won't let you take her from me. Her laughter echoed like a discordant melody, sending shivers down my spine. You have no choice. The transformation is complete, and I am here to stay. But I refused to accept that fate. In the dim light of our bedroom, I gathered my courage and approached her, my heart aching for the woman I'd lost. She watched me with cold detachment, her gaze a bottomless void. And then, with a surge of desperation, I grabbed the ornate mirror that hung on the wall and held it before her. The reflection that stared back was not the woman who had once been my wife. Instead, it was a grotesque, alien visage. Dark, ethereal eyes and a maw of jagged teeth that sent terror coursing through my veins. A guttural shriek erupted from her as she recoiled, the mirror a weapon that shattered the illusion she carefully crafted. In that moment of vulnerability, I seized a heavy crystal vase from beside the table and swung it with all my strength, shattering the mirror and the alien presence within. As the shards fell, so did she, collapsing to the ground in a heap. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, the room suffused with a sense of profound loss. Sadie. The woman who had once been my wife was gone. The alien entity banished from our reality. I stood there, chest heaving, gazing at the shattered mirror that held the fragments of my shattered life. The horror of that night would forever haunt me, and a reminder that the ones we love can be taken from us, replaced by something monstrous and unknown. The threads of our shared memories had been torn asunder, leaving only a haunting emptiness